I'm Aldo Privilegi. I'm a certified licensed hypnotherapist, and I'd like to spend a few minutes with you to talk about hypnosis and perhaps answer a few questions that you might have on your mind. Please write down any questions that you have so that we can discuss them later. For you to understand how hypnosis works, it's important for you to understand how your mind works. Most of us never really think about how our mind actually works. We basically take it for granted that it works and we just leave it at that. The mind actually consists of 3 distinct parts, which all do separate things and often have a hard time relating and communicating to each other. We have the conscious mind, where you are right now. Below this level of awareness, we have the subconscious mind. And at an even deeper level, we have the unconscious mind. For most of the work that we do in hypnosis, we can essentially ignore the unconscious mind. The unconscious mind controls all of the automatic processes within us, like our immune system, our heartbeat, growing our hair, and taking care of our health and well-being. All of those things that happen automatically to keep us alive and well. The conscious mind, where you're at right now, is where we spend most of our time. And I want you to understand that the conscious mind basically does 4 things, and only 4 things. The first thing that it does is it analyzes. It's that part of us that looks at a problem, analyzes it, and figures out a way to solve that problem. The second function of the conscious mind is the part that gets us into trouble sometimes. We call this the rational mind. This part of the mind gives us the reasons or excuses for the way we behave in any particular situation. Our conscious mind must have a reason for doing the things that we do. The next part of our conscious mind is what we call willpower. We're all familiar with willpower, aren't we? It works like this. I'm done with cigarettes and nothing on this earth will ever get me smoking again. Well, we all know how long that lasts, don't we? You know, if you go on a strict diet, how long does that last? Just until the willpower weakens. Then the old habit pattern returns right back again. The fourth part of the conscious mind is what we call working memory. That's the memory we need and use every day. How do I get to work? What's my mother's name? What's my father's name? How do I get home again? What's my phone number? Things on this order. The memory that we need just to get through each and every day. Now, this is all that the conscious mind does. It does nothing else. It's logical and analytical and nothing else. It's completely devoid of any and all emotions. Now we get to the interesting and all-powerful subconscious mind. This is where the real you lives, just below the level of the conscious mind. The subconscious mind is awesomely powerful. It can make you into anything you want to be. Rich or poor, slim or overweight, happy or sad, healthy or sick. To understand how the subconscious mind works, it's very much like a computer. It runs on the programs that have been installed. A computer alone is rather useless. It needs programs to run on to function. It has no ability to think on its own. It just runs on the programs that have been installed. It has no choice. You understand that if you remove an old program and install a new one, that the computer must run on the new programming and information. Well, this is the way our subconscious mind works. It's a computer, an organic computer. It functions on the same rules and principles as an electronic computer, only it is infinitely more powerful and interesting. We program our subconscious mind, our computer, every single day of our lives through our experiences. At birth, our computers are basically clean and unprogrammed. Of course, the unconscious mind is there already to keep our heart beating and all of our bodily functions working in good order and balance. But that's about it at birth. The programming of our subconscious mind starts immediately after we are born. Some even claim that it starts before we're actually born, whilst we're still in the womb. We are programmed by our parents, our friends, our relatives, our teachers, the news, the media, the radio, television. The programming comes from everywhere and everything around us, and it never stops flowing in. Now, the primary rule of our internal computer is this: it must make us into the type of person that it perceives us to be, based on the sum total of all of our programming. For example, if that computer of ours, based on its programming, tells us that we're fat, we're fat. If it says we're slim and attractive, we are slim and attractive, or a smoker, or successful, or failure. That is what we are. It adds up all the programming and then makes a decision about the person who we are. And then that is who we are. It must operate this way. What is some of the operational programming inside our internal computer? First of all, memory. The subconscious mind is like a video camera. Everything that has ever happened to us, every experience since the day we were born, is locked permanently into the memory banks of the subconscious mind. Actually, we never forget anything. If there's a reason to, in hypnosis, we can access certain memory banks. And it seems as though we can actually travel back in time to certain experiences and experience these experiences like they are real. For example, in regression hypnosis, we can travel back and you can relive your first birthday, or even your actual birth. And this is much more than recall. It's actually like you're really there. It's happening all over again, clear and vivid. You can see, you can smell, you can feel, you can hear. All the senses are in full alert. We never forget anything, and we can recall anything at the subconscious level. The second type of program that we have in our subconscious mind is habits. We have 3 kinds or types of habits, only 3. We have good habits and we have some bad habits. But really, most of our habits are not really good or bad. Most of our habits are utilitarian habits. We automatically respond in a certain way when something happens. For example, when the phone rings, we answer it. We don't look at it and think, reach phone, pick up phone. We just answer it. Another example is lighting up a cigarette as soon as you finish your meal, or the moment that you sat down in your favorite chair in the living room, you felt like a cup of tea or a cup of coffee. The next thing on our subconscious mind is our emotions. Of course, we wouldn't want to be without our emotions. That's what makes us us. That's what guides us. Our emotions and feelings are what guide us through life. And all of those wonderful, great feelings like love and compassion and sharing, all of these wonderful feelings that we get to experience. But sometimes our emotions get us into trouble. But the conscious mind cannot deal with the emotions in any way, shape, or form. That's simply just not part of its job. Anytime we need to access our emotions, the conscious mind moves gracefully to the side, and we deal with these emotions from our highly irrational and highly intelligent subconscious mind. And like I said, Sometimes this can get us into trouble. I know many times in the past you've had to deal with a situation that had emotion involved in this particular situation. Then after the situation was over and the analytical conscious mind took over again, you heard yourself thinking or saying to yourself, "Why did I do that? Why did I say that? That was so stupid." And that inner subconscious mind smiled to itself and said, "Yes, but that was so satisfying." This has happened to us all at some time or another. Now, the next part of our subconscious mind is probably the most important part. It protects us. It must protect us against danger. This is its priority, real or imagined. Anything imagined by the subconscious mind is just as powerful, just as real as if it was to actually happen. The subconscious mind can't tell the difference between what is real and what is imagined, and it must protect us. The last part of the subconscious mind is kind of a negative part. Although the subconscious mind is extremely powerful, it's also the laziest part of us. It doesn't like the work to do to accept positive suggestions and change, and give us change in the areas that we'd like to have it. It likes to keep us the way we are. It takes too much work to make positive changes. Positive changes are one of the most difficult things to get into our subconscious mind. On the other hand, though, negative suggestions go into this part of our inner mind very easily, because it doesn't take any work or effort to accept negative suggestions. Let me explain. Take an overweight person coming out of the shower and toweling off, and as he sees himself in the mirror, he looks into the mirror. And what do you think he's thinking or saying to himself? "Boy, what a fatty," or some kind of words to that effect. Now that idea or thought goes right into the subconscious mind. And the subconscious mind says, "Yes, that matches the programming that I have in here." Therefore, it accepts that suggestion and reinforces the programming and perception, and then the person becomes even more overweight. On the other hand, take that same person standing in front of the mirror and this time saying, "I'm slim, trim, and attractive." As these thoughts attempt to move into the subconscious mind, it says, "No, that does not match the programming that I have in here, and it's not allowed in." So the question is, how do we get suggestions into the subconscious mind? Now, it's very important that you understand this. Any idea, thought, or concept that is allowed to go into the subconscious mind must happen. You're changing the programming, and your inner mind must respond to the new programming. Okay, so you make a decision, let's say to stop smoking. You make your mind up on the conscious level that nothing in the world is going to stop you from giving up smoking. Now your conscious mind agrees and says, "That's wonderful, and I support you 100%. You're going to be healthier and fitter and be able to breathe easier." But to get a permanent change, we have to get down into your subconscious computer and change the program. So you say, "Fine," and you start to send that idea down into the subconscious mind. But there's a problem. There's one more part of the conscious mind that I haven't shared with you yet. It's called the critical factor, or known as the CF. Its job is to stop all suggestions before they enter into the subconscious mind. It's like the guardian of the gates. and it prevents suggestions to going into the subconscious. Then there's a kind of communication between the critical factor and the subconscious mind. The critical factor says, this person wants to stop smoking. Can I let this suggestion in? Now remember this. If this suggestion goes into the computer, into the subconscious mind, it must happen. The change will occur. But the subconscious mind scans the memory banks and says, wait a minute, he's been smoking for years. He needs cigarettes. He's lost without cigarettes. He wants to feel secure in life, for whatever reason there may be, as a smoker. I just don't feel up to making any changes. So reject that suggestion. The critical factor then has no other choice but to turn the suggestion away and send it back to the conscious mind where it came from. The conscious mind now does the only thing it knows and sends this suggestion over to willpower. And we all know how long willpower lasts, don't we? How many diets have we been on? How many times have we tried to quit smoking? Well then, how do we get the suggestions into the computer, into the subconscious part of the mind, that all-powerful subconscious mind? Hypnosis. The suggestions bypass the critical factor and enter into the subconscious mind. Hypnosis is not what you expect it to be. Actually, it's 100% different to the Hollywood TV movie image of hypnosis. When you're in hypnosis, you're not asleep. You're not unconscious either. What you are, though, is very comfortable and relaxed. Your body is extremely comfortable and relaxed. But your mind becomes alert and very clear. And the deeper into hypnosis you go, the more relaxed you become, and the more clear your mind becomes. It can be hundreds of times more alert. Your senses are also greatly enhanced and much more alert than they are right now. So when you're in hypnosis, you're not asleep. You're extremely alert, probably more alert and clear-headed than you've ever been before. Now, the important thing to understand is that your conscious mind takes on a different role when you're in hypnosis. Think of it as playing the role of the guardian of the gates, protecting you and your subconscious mind. When you hear a suggestion in hypnosis, you hear it loud and clear. When you hear a suggestion, you must choose to accept it or reject it. When you hear a suggestion, your conscious mind must choose from one of 4 options, and your choice determines your success. Option number 1. When you hear the suggestion, you think or say to yourself, I like that suggestion and I know it's going to work for me. This is the correct mental attitude, and that allows the suggestion to go directly into your computer, your subconscious mind, and the change begins immediately. We like option 1. By taking this attitude, you assure your own success. However, there are 3 other options. Option 2 might be that when you hear the suggestion, your conscious mind hesitates and says, oh, I don't like that suggestion. It makes me feel uncomfortable. Well, guess what? Your subconscious mind immediately rejects that suggestion because nothing is allowed into your subconscious mind that makes you in the least bit uncomfortable. This is our own protection system, our own way of protecting ourselves. There is no way that any suggestion that goes against your personal moral character is allowed to enter into your subconscious mind. Option 3 might be that when you hear the suggestion, you say to yourself, I don't really care if I get it or not. It's simply not important to me. Well, this suggestion is also rejected. Apathy blocks the suggestion from getting into the subconscious mind. Option 4 is the worst one of all. This one will make us or break us. With option 4, when you hear the suggestion and you say to yourself, I like that suggestion, I hope it works for me, it is rejected. The word hope is the twin sister of the word try, and try means automatic failure. In life, we either do or do not. When we say try, we almost always know we're going to fail before we even start. Oh, I'll try to make the effort. Oh, I'll try to call you. Oh, I'll try to be there. Try means failure. Think about it for a little while, and I think you'll agree. You can hope all you want, but it will be in vain. If you say hope or wish or try, that suggestion is blocked and does not enter into the subconscious. If you were to eliminate the words try and hope and wish from your vocabulary, within a month you would see an amazing difference in your life. The only time a suggestion is allowed to go into your subconscious mind is if you choose the mental attitude, I like that suggestion and I know it's going to work for me. That's all there is to it. Now, you should understand that all hypnosis is self-hypnosis. I'm simply a guide. If you allow me to be your guide, I'll show you how to place yourself in an amazing, beautiful state of hypnosis, feeling physical relaxation and rejuvenation like you've never felt before, feeling mental relaxation and alertness like you've never felt before. It feels wonderful. In fact, on a regular basis, during a session, a client will offer to pay for a second session if I were just to place them in that deep, wonderful feeling of hypnosis and just leave the room for a while and let them enjoy that rich, lovely feeling. It feels that good. If you allow me to be your guide, I'll show you how to enter into this lovely place of hypnosis until our session is complete. However, if you don't want to be in this beautiful, relaxed state, the slightest thought by you, and it's over, and you're back to your normal state of awareness. But if you follow my guidance and my suggestions, I'll show you how to stay there. And the most important thing of all is that if you accept the suggestion given to you with the correct mental attitude, I like this suggestion and I know it's going to work for me, you will experience the change you came for. If you take any of the other choices, however, you will fail. I cannot force a suggestion into your mind. Only you can allow it to happen. I will help you to enter this lovely state of hypnosis. And the only thing that can prevent you from going into this wonderful state is fear. Fear of hypnosis or fear of me. People tend to have 3 fears of hypnosis, and I'd like to discuss them right now and dispel any myths or fears. Fear number 1, loss of control. The fear that I can make you do something against your will, and that just cannot happen. We were not made so weak or vulnerable that we can be taken advantage of in this way. There is absolutely no way I can make you do anything against your own moral will. Now that's a good thing, and that's a bad thing at the same time. I cannot make you go and rob the store, and I cannot make you go into hypnosis, and I cannot make you lose weight, quit smoking, or anything else. You must want to make the change, and you must allow the suggestions in with the correct mental attitude. Now, I know that you may have heard or seen those hypnosis stage shows where people are doing humorous and embarrassing and even silly things. And yes, that is hypnosis, and they are not faking that. But understand this, they are not doing anything immoral or against their will. Yes, they're doing funny, silly, and embarrassing things, but they're not doing anything against their personal moral character. And I can assure you, if they were given a suggestion that made them in the least bit uncomfortable, they would reject it and probably just walk off the stage. Those individuals all volunteered to be up on that stage. They know what they're in for, and they know what's going to be expected of them, and they want to do it. They want to be the star of the show. Fear number 2. Many people confuse hypnosis with a truth serum or something like that, and they're afraid they might reveal some deep, dark, hidden secrets that they have, or some family secrets that they would like to keep hidden, or tell me their bank account PIN number or something of that order. Well, that just cannot happen either. Actually, in hypnosis, a person could actually be a better liar than they are in the awaking normal state. This is actually how people beat lie detectors. They use self-hypnosis. Fear number 3, and this one is really amusing. What if I get stuck in hypnosis and I can't get out? That just cannot happen either. As I said earlier, you're very alert and you hear every word I'm saying clearly. You have the ability to accept or reject any suggestions, and you have the ability to bring yourself back to normal awareness anytime you want to. If in the middle of our session you heard in the background someone yell fire, you would probably be up and out of that door before even I was. There is absolutely no way you can get stuck in hypnosis. That only happens in the movies. The fact of the matter is that you've already been in hypnosis thousands of times in your life. Every time you fall asleep, you pass through the hypnotic stages. And then when you wake up, you pass through it again as you wake up in the morning. It's that soft feeling, cozy, daydreaming kind of place. You're not awake, but you're not asleep either. Your eyes may be closed, but you're aware of your environment and surroundings in a kind of distant and cozy way. If you've ever cried or laughed when you've been watching a movie or reading a book, you were in hypnosis. That's right, those characters in those stories, they don't mean anything in your life, yet you reacted to the story in such a way that your conscious mind was distracted and your subconscious mind was drawn into the story, and you created an emotional reaction with your imagination. So you see, hypnosis is up to you. I have had a great deal of training and experience through the years. I know exactly what to do and how to deliver suggestions correctly to my clients. And if they accept those suggestions, they will have wonderful changes. They will have wonderful and even miraculous changes. And if they reject them, there will be no change at all. If you accept the suggestions with the correct mental attitude, I like that suggestion and I know it's going to work for me, you will enjoy success. It's up to you. Remember, hypnosis is a wonderful and rapid way to make changes in your life, and it's available for you now. Hypnosis. Change your mind and change your life.